Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Hello and welcome to the worst writer in the world. It is episode 4 of Time Jump,
Ooh.
Howard. And so much has happened.
So much jumping through time. Oh my god.
I mean, some jumping has happened.
Yes.
We as a viewer don't know if it's time jumping, but we suspect it might be.
Yes.
Because Jem Kidd, hello, my name's Jem Kidd, I'm a police officer, and I'm quite neglectful of me wife. He's hanging out in the British Museum with his mum,
Yeah.
while his wife's looking at herself in the bathroom mirror.
Yeah.
It opens, right? How does he hear about the ghoul? Does a security guard tell him or something?
No. What
How
happens
does he
is
find out there's a ghoul?
Well, she comes back.
Oh,
and,
she
comes
right,
back and
yeah,
says,
that's
"I got
right.
attacked by a smelly, stinky tramp." Tee hee
And he's
hee
like,
hee hee.
run away!
And then,
run away!
And then, he's like, "Oh, you're all right there. You're all right there." But then an alarm goes.
And he says, "You look all right. I'll go and check if the security guards are all
Yeah,
right. The
it's
security
all right, yeah.
boys."
Yeah, because the ghoul has stolen something from the British Museum.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then he runs out onto the roof, onto the glass roof, and Jem chases after him, but the ghoul shoots him in the foot, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop Jem because he's an action hero. So Jem continues chasing him, even though he's got a hole in his foot. He chases him to the breaker's yard next door to the British Museum, where they do a bit of jumping, a bit of chasing, and then the ghoul
Yeah.
jumps off a car and disappears, right?
Yeah, completely
Did he regular jump or did he time jump?
Ooh.
We may never know. And then they go to the hospital, right? And there's Jem gets his hole filled up with like polyfiller or something,
Yeah.
his foot hole. And then they go home. And I think where we left it was Jem and his wife, Zippy. I mean, Zoe, arriving home after the exciting events of the opening of the movie.
Oh, wow.
And presumably, now we're going to get started with the real story.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and I know what's coming next. It's going to be really exciting.
Well, shall we find out what exciting things young Howard has in store for us this week?
Yeah, I know how to keep people's attention. Yeah, let's see what I decided
Tell
to
you
write.
what, I hope there's some bins involved. Let's get started, shall we?
Yes, please.
It looks like next up we've got a time jump.
Hooray! There we go then, finally.
Because we are jumping forwards in time. We are skipping some time. Yeah. So is it time jumping or is it time skipping? We're not sure. Because it says Dissolve 2, exterior, Muswell Hill, early
Hooray!
morning, snow. It's December. That's what it says. It's December. I guess it is December. It's just a little typo.
No, I mean, I stand by what I wrote.
The next line is Christmas card picturesque, snowy, Christmas lights, etc. Track up to, house up to, first floor, in through window. Well,
Yeah!
it's just a pile of words.
Yes.
So I guess we're tracking up to the first floor of the house and then in through the window.
Thing is, when you read that, and I mean, we can kind of get a handle on what I was trying to say. I failed, but you know what it's supposed to say. It's about the camera's going to track up to.
Yeah, it's track up the house.
Yeah. But I see a lot of sentences and paragraphs online these days, often on the Amazon notice boards. People who are having trouble with Amazon, because most people are, because it's awful, and they write the most incomprehensible stuff, and I'm looking at it going, what does that mean? But people reply to it and understand what it means, and I just wonder what happened to my brain that it can't figure out what people mean anymore when they fuck up sentence structure.
Maybe because you also do. Maybe there's tribes of people in who fuck up in certain ways, and they're like, if you're in that same tribe, you can understand perfectly because people are doing it like you do. So their brain works in the same way as yours does. But if you try and cross tribes, so you've got your weird syntax and they've got theirs, and it just doesn't make sense to each other. Maybe.
That's true, yeah.
And what you did was accidentally interfere in another tribe conversing with each other in their dialect.
Of course, yeah, because I don't speak good English. So anyone who speaks good English can understand what I mean and understand what they mean. But because I'm on the complete other side...
New theory. All the people that you see writing garbled sentences, they're actually writing in perfect English and you haven't got a clue what they mean.
Right, yeah.
Right? Yeah. And actually it's you that's doing it wrong. And you're going, why do people understand these idiots writing this incomprehensible rubbish online? I don't know how. That is perfect.
What do they mean the dog
English.
liked a bone? What does that mean? It's confusing.
Dog bone like lots me do. That's what it should say, clearly. Track up dog to first floor in through windows. What is it? Bone is what it should say.
Yeah, probably that.
Yeah, I think we've solved that little mystery. Of why people online understand each other and you don't.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem that mysterious now. Think about it.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it? Yeah.
Interior bedroom, Jem's house. Jem and Zoe lie in bed. Zoe is looking more pregnant.
What, than him?
Okay, so that suggests that Jem is quite pregnant. Just not as much as she is. Yeah. Jem is trying to scratch under the cast on his wrist with a ruler. She is looking through a book of baby names.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And her voice is...
Ooh. No, it's not, is it? It's something really stupid. It's Zippy.
Zippy, yeah. I just looked at my nose like, well, I wonder what her voice. Probably Scottish. No,
Zippy.
Fucking Zippy. Yeah. Well, what should the main female character's voice be in this one? Oh, I've got an idea. I think it should be Zippy.
Good decision. Double down.
Oh no, I'm not planning to change it. It's a brilliant idea. I think I'm surprised by it every single time.
Yeah,
but it's a fun surprise. All right, so she is looking through a book of baby names, and she says, oh, Jem. Jem says, he says, but yes, what can I do for you? What would you like? What about Cadence if it's a girl, and Carlos if it's a boy?
God, no.
Jem says, please, get out of the seas. Your surname is Cadle now, remember? You want a girl called Cadence Cadle. Do you want a girl called Cadence Cadle? Yeah. Oh, actually, that's quite cute. It's better than Zippy. Do you think she's called Zippy because she's got a Z name? Because she's called Zoe, which is not actually that far from Zippy. Really, that's just one syllable difference. You've got the O or the ip, right?
That's true. And to any Zoes listening to this show, just think there, but for this, there, but for the grace of God, go I.
There, but for the grace of ip, go you. Yeah, Zoe is just a very tiny sound away from being Zippy. No, Zoe says, actually, so, Zippy says. Actually, that's quite cute. It's better than Zoe Cadle anyway. Damn you and your ridiculous surname. What's wrong with Cadle? I mean, I'm not saying that's a brilliant name or anything, but it's not like, oh, wow, you're called Cadle. What an idiot. I was talking to my friend, like, Steve Bellend the other day. He says you're an idiot. It's a good name. It's from the word cad. That makes sense. Which is Celtic for battle. I've been on Wikipedia. Research. You told me that you used to research names a lot more than you do now,
yeah.
Right? And I guess this is a little example of you maybe including a bit too much of your research, do we think?
Yeah. Well, you know, when I meet a person and I have a conversation with them, I don't have to think about what we're talking about. It just kind of happens naturally. But when you are both the people and you're suddenly faced with having to have a conversation, you're like, I don't know what people talk about. Just boring stuff, isn't it? And so I'm like, well, let's talk about the one thing we know. It's
a good name. It's from the word cad. That makes sense. Which is Celtic for battle. That makes even more sense. The doorbell goes. Oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad I escaped a fucking conversation we were having just. Yes, me too. It was really. I was about to divorce you just based on that fucking conversation. No, Jem says, "Who's that?" Which is something people in movies and TV say a lot, right? But no human person has ever said that. No, like when the doorbell goes, would you ever say,
I have.
"Who's that?" Because, no, of course you don't. Because you understand that the person you're with isn't see-through wall man, right? Unless you are with someone who can see through walls, who you might say, could you just look through the wall and tell me who's ringing the doorbell, please?
Well, we have no proof that Zippy Cadle isn't a see-through wall capability person.
No, see-through wall Zippy. We don't know if she's that, do we?
You remember when we first introduced her, it didn't say she can't see through walls, which to my mind means she very probably can.
I mean, just like it didn't say she is not Zippy.
Exactly, which is why she is Zippy.
Which is why she is.
Is Zippy, yeah.
Who's that? And Zoe says, it's the postman, probably. So she has a guess as well. And then she goes to the window.
Yeah.
POV, Zoe, exterior, Woodland Gardens, a garbage truck is in the street, visiting the UK from America.
Yeah.
There's an American garbage truck in the street. That's a bit weird. Oh, and it's stopping the refuse lorry from behind it getting our bins because it's picking up some American trash cans from the Americans over the road. A garbage truck is in the tree, but the bin men are collecting. So you're mixing things up. You're using both languages.
Did you just say that garbage truck was in the tree then?
A garbage truck is in a tree, and the bin men are collecting apples. No, the garbage truck is in the street, and the bin men are collecting.
The garbage men.
They ring the doorbell. Where you live, do garbage men or whatever?
Yeah, Americans
come
and ring my
Do
doorbell.
American
and say,
garbage
"Hey,
collectors come around and ring your doorbell?
Do you know any Americans need their garbage picking up? That's what they say. I'm like, no.
All I can find around here is bins full of rubbish. It's like, what am I going to do? As a refuse
Yeah, that's what it's like here.
Rung your
Yeah,
doorbell?
that's what happens in posh places. Yeah, they come and they
Really?
they ring it, then they come through and they go to your back garden where you keep your rubbish because you don't want to keep it out the front, and they pick it up and they take it through the corridor. But you have to put down like a special plastic carpet. No, nobody ever rings the doorbell.
See, I was believing you then. So I'm like, because I was going, well, where I live, like, the last place, when I lived in Lewisham, our front yard was basically like a little wall, and then there's the street, right? And the bin's just like behind the little wall. Yeah. But if I didn't put the bin out, like take it around that like 1 meter, they didn't collect it. It's like, it's right there, you can see it. But they're like, no, you've got to put the bin out. Fair enough, I did it.
Oh yeah.
Now I live in Greenwich. There's just bins lining the street with little tags on the handle that said, you put the wrong thing in your bin, so we didn't take it. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Everyone's got like 3 different bins, and it's really complicated. I live in a flat, so we've got a chute. It's very straightforward. Yeah. But everyone who lives in a house, it's very complicated, and a lot of bins don't get collected because people get it wrong a lot.
What happens when it gets to the recycling place if it goes there?
I don't know. When I was living in Lewisham, I remember seeing a thing that said basically if like the council take like it seems like it's all compartmentalized, like everything else is like bits of it have been privatized or all of it have been privatized but into 10 different companies. So if the recycling truck arrives at the recycling plant, they can refuse the whole truck if it's got some wrong stuff in it. So you put stuff in your bin, it's not just like, oh, some of that, like those things aren't going to get recycled. It can be according to Lewisham at least, it can be the whole truck that just go, no, and I guess then they go to the tip.
This probably all this means is that they actually recycle in Lewisham and they just don't recycle here. Because they don't give a fuck. They send it abroad.
We do. There is a massive recycling centre in Lewisham. It's on like the it's on the edge of Lewisham, so I still go past it every day.
But like, what is it? Like robots there that like kind of like, you know, you pour your recycling and it goes like, this is cardboard, put it over here. This is plastic.
It's
go
loads of
here.
robots.
Or is it
it's really
human?
exciting. If you go down there, there's loads of robots there, and they kill you if you mum.
If your mum. Yeah, if you're a mum. If you're a mum.
They kill you if you're a mum.
Stop having babies.
That's how robots work. Yeah. They kill you if you're gonna be a mum, right? Not if
they
you are.
I mean, I think it's like, I mean,
one.
they do. That's exactly what they do because we learned that from Terminator. AI robot. Yeah, you are saying that. Yeah.
No, I was talking about. Yeah, I wasn't talking about just randomly the idea that robots kill mums. I was talking about Terminator,
okay, good.
The famous robot will kill your mum story.
Yeah, because I was talking about them in general because I was thinking that like humans have babies, but those people that have babies are the mums. So if they got rid of those, it was only shortly afterwards I remember that was the plot of Terminator.
That is absolutely the plot of Terminator. So, or Time Mum Murder,
Time Mum
really,
Murder.
to give it its full credit.
All I'm saying is, surely there's somebody who works there, and maybe it's their job to separate the for recycling.
Oh, there must be some element, because you put in Lewisham, you put everything together. All the acceptable recycling goes together, so they're going to have to separate like plastic, paper, glass, or whatever. So I have no idea. It's all a mystery. Those robots just won't tell me what they're doing in there. Probably because they're murdering my mum and they don't want me to know. She looks out the window, sees the garbage truck and the bin men that are working for the garbage truck. Interior bedroom, Jem's house. Zoe says, bin men. And Jem says, oh, I didn't put the bin out.
Wow.
Leave it. It's the holidays. They won't be back for 3 weeks. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
Zoe sighs. That's what she does. I'll do it then. It's too heavy for a half man anyway. Wow. Fucking hell, Zippy. He's only broken his wrist, right? Jem says, I can do it. She exits. He follows. They're going to fight over who takes the bin out. Interior landing, Jem's house. Zoe heads down the stairs. Jem pursues.
Wow.
I'll do it.
Wow.
I'm up now. They're going to argue about who's taking the bin. That's what this scene is. It's who's going to take the bin out scene.
Good stuff.
Interior lobby, Jem's house. They have reached the foot of the stairs. The phone starts ringing. That might be Dad. God, they like to talk about who it is before they just answer the door on the phone. Don't they?
It might be. Yeah, it might be. It might be any number of people. There's no way of knowing to be
Do you want me
answered.
to list all the people? It could be John. It could be the Pope. It could be an old school friend wanting to know if I've still got their pencil sharpener. It could be your brother. It could be you travelling in time, dressed as a tramp.
It's probably that. It probably is that. If a phone rings in a time travel story, it's usually yourself, isn't it? That's a rule of thumb. It's never someone phoning to say they know you were involved in an accident recently and would you like to claim some compensation. That doesn't happen in films.
No, it's not. Absolutely no one. That's the main spam call I get. Just calls that are no one on the end.
Yes.
Just empty line.
That's the most. Yeah. I don't get phone calls from anyone other than that person who phones up and says nothing.
Yeah. Why are you doing that all the time? Why do robots want to ring me up and not say anything? Someone made a mistake when they were building those robots, weren't they? They really focused on the dialing capability and stopped and forgot to teach them how to speak.
Really weird. 'Cause mostly I just never answer, but when I do bother to answer, I say hello, and nobody ever says anything. So it's, well, yeah.
No, same thing.
So how do they make money?
I think sometimes I'm pretty sure on the landline in my old flat, I'm pretty sure that sometimes if I'd usually ignore it because I hate phone calls from anyone, even if I know them, let alone spam calls. So I generally don't answer my phone unless I know who's calling and I know it's really important that I answer. You know, like I don't know, like it's my dentist calling to tell me that my teeth are going to explode if I don't go and see him. You know, that's important. I'll deal with that. Yeah. But anyone else, no. But I remember in the last flat, if I accidentally did answer the phone to one of those empty calls, then I'd get 3 more the same day. Like it's like the first one was a test to see if that number was in operation, and then I'd get more empty calls. It wasn't like the first one was a test that then I got the spam calls. It was just more nothing calls. Yeah. So I don't know if that was my confirmation bias, and actually that wasn't what was happening. It was just a coincidence.
I mean,
or if there was,
what's going on? Do you think it's possible that like everyone's got it wrong and this isn't some spam calling robot at all, and it's just like ghosts phoning up, and like what ghosts have failed to realise is that we can't hear them or something?
So you think like we're all getting phone calls from our lost relatives and loved ones and stuff? Oh, next time I get one, I'm going to be like, "Hello, Grandad. How are you doing?
Yeah.
How's things on the other side?" And then I'll just go, yeah, for a while, and then he'll think I'm, oh, really? Tell me more. You know, and he can tell me some stories. And I'm like, I've got to go now, Grandad, bye. Yeah. I'll tell you what, my grandma's going to be confused. Isn't it? Tell you what, my childhood dog's going to be confused when I do that to him. Like, why is he calling me Grandad? My name was Rover. All right. Yeah. So the phone starts ringing. That might be Dad. You want me to answer? Tell him I'm not here. If it's work, I am. No. Where's the phone? This is a very exciting scene. They saw the bin men, and then they argued about who was going to put the bin out. Then they walked down the stairs, and then the phone rang, and then it's all like, oh, that might be this person, and if it is, tell him that. And if it isn't, tell them the other thing.
All right, yeah, but like if you're really bad at writing, like me, and you follow the template of the ordinary world, then I'm doing the ordinary world right about now, but I'm just doing it so ordinary.
You're taking that advice very literally. The phone is missing from the cradle.
Shit.
The cradle rings, and somewhere, who knows where, the phone is ringing. You find the phone, I'll move the bin. She heads to the rear of the house, through the kitchen, out into the garden where the bin is, and will then take the bin round the side of the house to the front. Wow. You really are focused on the details of the ordinary world. The bin is big and green and has wheels on it, and inside the bin are one an empty cola bottle, two some packaging from some guacamole.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't know, because like the working title when I first wrote this was Bin Day, but then I was like, that's not going to get people interested. Better call it something interesting.
Time jump. Yeah, actually, the time jump is they changed the bin day, and these guys didn't know. That's why they're having a bit of a panic because they didn't put the bin out. Because it used to be Thursday, now it's Wednesday.
Yeah, this is really boring. Well done, Howard.
It's also very, like, everything we do on this show is really unfair to you, because like this is a first draft, right? You didn't even finish it. This is a first draft. You like sit down, write some. I mean, everyone writes pointless crap in their first draft. Like literally every single writer who's ever existed has written a scene like this. But when you go back, you go, why did I write a scene in that much detail about putting the bins out? And you cut it, right?
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I guess maybe that's the difference between a good and a bad writer. Maybe there are bad writers out there that don't cut that scene, but it seems like most writers would.
Like, again, double down. What I do is like, then I get like, no, I think this bin scene needs to be longer.
Yeah, I think this film needs to be mostly bin scene. It's a character study in bin moving.
It's just like not enough elements here with the kind of cold caller, the bin thing. Yeah. We need some other stuff. Like, I don't know, the neighbours kind of like borrowing the strimmer, the garden strimmer.
Okay, maybe a time travelling tramp from the future.
Yeah.
No, hang on, no, bins. Oh yeah, you wrote a script about bins, and then someone's like, "Could you put like a bit more action in?" You're like, "All right, I'll put a scene in the beginning where there's a load of action, then I'll get on with my bin plot."
Yeah, because that opening sequence is like what you'd call a hook, isn't it? But if you didn't have that, this movie would basically start
just be about
with
bins.
Some people in bed, and the bin man arrives and rings the doorbell, as bin men always do. As you know that you're in the real world now, because the bin man's ringing your bell.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, so she. Let's remind you what she does. I don't want you to miss this. She heads to the rear of the house, right? Through the kitchen, out into the garden where the bin is, right? Yeah. That's where she's going. That's why she's going into the garden, because that's where the bin is. Yeah. Jem, on the other hand, after all that detail, Jem goes into the lounge. That's all we get about him. Interior lounge, Jem's house. Jem has a listen. The phone does not appear to be ringing in here. Okay. He heads back out again. Oh my God. He just went into a room and the phone wasn't there. He's like holding his hand up to his ear, listening. That's not him. Oh, don't think the phone's in here. I'll go and try another room.
This is the scene from Rapunzel where the witch is... Yeah. As the Catskin stole the baby, and she can hear crying, and she goes in a lot of rooms and without a baby until she finds him down.
That's right.
So I suggest
it felt familiar.
He should go down to the pickle cellar and he'll find Catskin pickling his phone.
You pickle everything, so I thought I'd pickle your phone. I thought you'd want me to.
Wait a second, who are you? What are you doing in my house?
I ran away from my mum not long ago because I tried to pickle the baby. I'm planning to go back when I'm an adult, but I'm going to go in disguise. Rufus will never know. Rufus will never spot that one. My brilliant disguise of being exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brilliant disguise of having of only having one characteristic, and it being that I can't talk, and that also being the one characteristic of another character who mysteriously disappeared in this script. Oh, Bruce will never work that one out. All right, so he goes into the lounge, has a listen, doesn't appear to be there. He heads back out again. Interior, lobby, Jem's house. He heads back into the kitchen. Interior, kitchen, through the side window.
Through the side window, what? Does he see her taking out the bins? Because I want to get back to the bins. Brilliant.
Through the side window, he sees Zoe wheel the bin off down the side passage.
That's what we're paying our money for.
Ringing.
We're not interested in the search for a mobile phone. We want some bin time.
Got to get some bin action. Yeah. What he's doing is walking around a house. That's not what I'm here for, Howard. I want to see the woman with a bin.
Yeah.
Pregnant woman pushing a bin through the snow. That's what's happening there, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Anyway, no ringing. He moves into the conservatory. Interior, conservatory, no ringing. He heads back into the kitchen. Interior, kitchen, and through to the lobby. Interior, lobby, Jem's house. He heads back up the stairs.
Persistent caller.
He's going to go in every room.
Persistent caller. I would have surprised they haven't hung up yet.
Yeah.
Or his
Yeah,
phone's
true.
not gone to answering service. So,
Yeah.
I suppose that's a thing because it's not
It's
a
got a
mobile
base.
phone.
It's got to be a landline.
Boop. Jem, whatever you do, don't answer the phone. It's me from the future phoning you, telling you not to answer this phone.
Oh dear.
Why did you
I
phone
think
me?
Hang on a minute. That doesn't make any sense. I know. In the future, you lose your mind a little bit. I wanted to warn you about that. To avoid losing your mind, you might want to padlock it into your skull. And in order to do that, you need to drill a hole through your skull, through your brain, so you can put the padlock through. I did that. It didn't work for some reason. In fact, that's around the same time that I lost my mind.
Yeah.
But maybe you should put 2 in, because I only did 1 and I still managed to lose it. So maybe get a bike lock, one of a big thick bike lock, and drill a really big hole right from one side to the other, and then stick the bike lock through it. No way you're going to lose your mind there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go and get me drill.
No one can steer your head. So
Also true.
double pleasure, double my pleasure.
Meaningless. Interior landing, Jem's house. He passes through into the study. Interior study, Jem's house. No ringing. He exits. Interior landing, Jem's house, and back into the bedroom. Interior bedroom. There is.
Oh my god.
There is a muffled ringing.
Oh my gosh.
He searches for it. Cut to exterior, Woodland Gardens,
Hooray!
Muswell Hill. Yeah, get to the true action.
Brilliant.
The garbage truck is some way down the street on the other side of the road, and Zoe wheels the bin after it. Wait, don't go without taking my bin. Oh, that's a great scene. Pregnant woman in her night clothes. They were in bed, right? So she's bound to, I hope she's in fluffy slippers.
She was naked.
Running through the snow, dragging a bin.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, I was so distracted by how boring this scene was. I forgot to actually be suspicious of why you might be writing a boring scene. But now I realise. Okay, so everything's fine. It's already boring. One of them's searching for a phone. The other one's running down the street with a bin. Suddenly, from behind the garbage truck comes a speeding car.
Ooh.
A standard-shaped four-seater in silver. Brackets could be Nissan, Altima, Oldsmobile Alero, Mitsubishi Galant, Chevy Lumina, Ford Taurus, Citroen Zara, Dodge Intrepid or similar. Semicolon, they all look the same. What the fuck is this weird car shade going on here? What the fuck was that? I don't know. Listener, you might not know this.
Fucking cars. They all they come over here.
You may not know this because many men, like love cars, love talking about cars, know a lot about cars, right? That couldn't be less true about Howard and me. To be like, we are two people who do not give a crap about cars, right? And also, consequently, don't know anything about cars. Like, I basically know how to drive one, but not that well because I've never really owned a car. I just passed my test and then didn't do it. Howard can't drive because he started and just went, I don't think I need to do this. I think this is a skill I don't need in life, and he was right about that. And beyond that, we've basically got no interest in cars, right?
Yeah.
So it's always really weird to suddenly see Howard talking about cars.
Which I do in all my scripts. If there's a car, I will say
Yeah.
what brand, what make it is, won't I? But here I'm going like, wait a second. The reason no one's made my scripts before is because I haven't mentioned a car they like. So what I'm going to do is list every car. Could be a Volvo.
Yeah.
Could be a BMW. Could be a Mercedes. Could be a
Notice how Howard's
Nissan.
only mentioning brands here and not makes of car. Because if go on, Howard, name 3 actual makes of cars.
Okay, yeah, I can actually. A Fiat Punto.
Okay, modern, not from the 90s, but from now.
A big car. Medium car and small car.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, and to be fair, as I said, like I wouldn't be able to do that either. If I had to do it, I might be able to think of 3 from the 90s, but not from now. I haven't got a fucking clue. Like all of these car names, apart from like, I know Nissan and Oldsmobile and Mitsubishi, obviously, but all the car make names, I've never heard them before. You looked this up, right?
Yeah.
But then why? It's weird because I understand. Like I see you write a list of cars. I don't know why you're saying what. Like, why does it matter what make the car is? First of all, just as a car, right? Let the designers decide on what the car is, or it's going to probably sponsorship, right? Let whoever's dealing with the sponsorship find out which car it is. It doesn't matter. But firstly, why are you listing cars? Secondly, why are you insulting cars? Because they look the same. Like, when did you start caring about either of these things? It's really odd. It feels like it must have been like someone else telling you had to list cars, right? Like someone saying, no, you must put the name of a car in. You're like, fine, I'll put 12 cars in and then say that they're all the same anyway, so it doesn't matter. It must be, right? It's because you feel you have to do this and you don't want to. That's the only logic. Suddenly from behind the truck comes a speeding car, a standard-shaped 4-seater in silver. Brackets could be Nissan Altima, Oldsmobile Alero, Mitsubishi Galant, Chevy Lumina, Ford Taurus, Citroen Zara, Dodge Intrepid, or similar. They all look the same.
Yeah, fucking.
The silver car is heading straight for Zoe with no signs of slowing.
Oh no.
Interior bedroom, Jem's house. Jem has found the phone and presses the answer. C. I think the answer's C. Oh, no, it was B.
Yeah.
Jem says, he. Screech, slam. Jem drops the phone and runs to the window. Zoe lies in the road, the bin spilled beside her. Jem bolts from the bedroom. Jem races from the house, in 2 minds whether to go after the car or Zoe. Yeah, go and check the car's all right, Jem.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat to letter every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world.
Do you know what we're doing on The Secret Gang this week, Howard?
It's nude week on the Secret Gang, of course, so we'll be getting our bums
That's
out.
only for you. That's only you, alone in your house.
Ah.
Other people don't have to be involved in that. And if Howard's written to you and say it's nude week, please take your bum out. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, it's Gret Binchleaf week. We are releasing a chapter of the latest Gret Binchleaf book,
Wow.
book 11.
Gosh.
Gret Binchleaf and the Adventure of the Massive Jumping Hairy Pig.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and chapter 5 is coming out this week. So if you want to get involved, get your ears on that book and several other Gret Binchleaf books that are exclusive to the gang, then sign up for just $7 and you'll immediately get access to all the chapters that have already been released and the final 3 coming early this year as we write them.
Brilliant.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye, milk.
Bye-bye.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.